doing a big old brisket. We're doing it on our Grand Champ XD from Char-Griller. We got our brisket trimmed up already. I'll throw the overlay of the time lapse I did of it. The best thing you gotta remember is cut off all the silver skin, cut off all the hard fat, trim it up so it's nice and aerodynamic so the smoke blows over the brisket itself. There's tons of brisket trimming videos out there. I didn't want to bore you with another one. So search the YouTuber, the Googler, and you'll find the trimming if you want. I don't trim for anything other than a backyard cook. This is a professional. I do gouges in it. I have imperfections on it. Just is what it is, okay? We got it seasoned up. We'll use a little Texas beef and a little SPG from Kosmo's Q, and I'll put a link down below for his website. Good stuff on brisket. I love all the Cosmo stuff. He's a good dude. Anyway, got it seasoned up. I actually put it in the fridge overnight, okay? Let it have a little bit of time to kind of marinate all them flavors getting in there. You don't have to, you can season it and get it on the pit right away. But I like to put my briskets in the fridge overnight, so you do you. That's what I do. We have some Fogo lump charcoal that we lit on fire in the in the firebox. With this Grand Champ, I like to keep some charcoal burning in it too. We'll use little splits of wood, and I kind of try to keep them about 6 inches, pretty thin. Got a little axe out here, I chop them up. Got some hickory, got a little mesquite. We'll go back and forth with them. The other thing is I have all the trimmings, all the fat trimmings from the brisket, a separate pan over here. We're gonna put that in there, render out all that beef tallow, and we'll strain it out and we'll use it for later. Dump a little over the brisket when we wrap it. I'm not even putting a temperature probe in there yet. It's gonna be a while, okay, because we're kind of going low and slow with it. In fact, by the time this is all done, either it's gonna be very dark or we're gonna be in the house. I'm gonna try to keep the temperatures about 250. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, but that's where I'm gonna try to keep them at. I'm gonna give it a couple hours, start looking at the bark as it, forms and grows on there. Make sure nothing's scraping off. Then we'll probably throw the temp probe in there. Once it gets past the stall at 170 or so, then we'll wrap it in some butcher paper and get it back on. The idea is we're taking it up to about 205, and then we're gonna let it rest. When I let it rest, I wrap it in a towel, either put it in the oven on a warming setting or in a cooler, just to let it rest and get all the temperatures chilling out and coming down a little bit. My rule of thumb is I let it rest at least an hour, more like 2 to 5, in that area. But if you gotta feed it and you're not trying to have midnight brisket, an hour's, the bare minimum, okay? So go with that. Guys, kind of over talked it, but I wanted to get you where we're at right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get that brisket on the pit. The heavy duty white smoke's already burned off. We're burning clean right now. So let's go ahead and get the brisket on and get those flavors rolling. What do you say? All right, come on down. Let's get that brisket on. Put it right on there. I got a little foil tray back there just to catch the drippings. It'll make the cleanup a little bit easier. We're running the point end towards the fire, towards the heat. Let all that good smoke get around it. Good flavors going. Whew, can't wait. All right, let's shut her down. We'll check on it in a couple hours. Guys, we're humming along a little over 250 on this side towards the firebox, and right around 250 on the end. So we're right where we want to be. All right, y'all, we're a couple hours in. I went ahead and rotated the brisket. We were getting a little bit of color over there. The bark is building okay, but we got some nice little divots here. This little area right here was pooling pretty good. So I used the old Harry Sue trick and put a little block of smoking wood underneath it. And now that's all gonna drain off. So I may apply a little bit more rub on that, but otherwise, just taking its time. Temping out about 120, 130 right now. So we got a little ways to go, and we got our rendered trimmings up there, just doing what it do. All right, so we're just humming along, keeping the temps about 250 to 275, adding a split every 30 minutes or so, just keeping it rolling. Guys, we got that beautiful mahogany color we want on there. The bark is set, temping over 170, went through the stall with no problem. Okay, now we're gonna take it inside, wrap it in some butcher paper, and then get it back on that pit. Okay, I may or may not have gotten me wrapping the actual brisket in the paper, but it's done. I think I hit stop or start on there. I'm not entirely sure. We'll go ahead and get this back on. Temp spike is back in. I'm gonna take it to the 205-ish, and then we'll pull it off and let it rest for a couple hours. chop into it. Team, we're temping out at 207 on the temp spike. Let's go ahead and test for probe tenderness. I'm liking it. It's going in nice. It's moving, it's grooving. All right, let's go ahead and pull it. We're gonna let it rest. We'll wrap it in a towel, put it aside, and I'll see you in a couple hours. Let it rest for about 2.5 hours now. You can leave it overnight in the warming thing if you need to. We're gonna take it out of the butcher paper, get it on the cutting board, slice into it, do what you do. All right, let's come on down here. We got sufficient jiggle there, not bad. All right, let's slice into it. First off, let's just cut right down the middle here. Not a big fan of squeezing your briskets, but you gotta do it for the gram, right? Let's slice up the flat here. I'll go against the grain, about a pencil's width apart. All right, we got the proper bend. Oh, it's looking good, boys and girls. Let's take a look at the inside of the point here. Nice and juicy, looking good. Get some good cuts off of that. A little thicker for the point here. A nice little smoke ring right there. All right, let's take a picture and we'll talk about it. All right, y'all, time to come clean on this one. When I wrapped it the wrong way. So the top was actually on the bottom. So all that good bark I built on the offset out there got kind of ruined by being on the bottom, being in the braise, being in all the fat and stuff like that. So don't do what I do. Pay attention as you're rolling and wrapping your briskets. But nonetheless, turned out perfect. Dig the look, even the underside, right? Got a great, beautiful color on the outside, great bark. Now it's time to give these bad boys a taste. I got me a piece of the point here. This is my favorite bite, piece of the point. Let's give it a try. Finger looking good, baby. This right here is money in the bank, baby. We're good, okay? Turned out perfect, except for that whole, wrapping incident, but that's okay. With brisket like this, and you're taking it fairly low and slow, you gotta have the time to let it rest and all that. It takes a little bit, but it's a labor of love. You're gonna love this brisket. Okay. For the knives, cutting boards, merch, all the stuff I use in my videos, and like the link for Cosmos, all this stuff will be down below in the video description. If you'd like to become a show producer, there's a button you can click. It's a join button. Helps you join the YouTube memberships for my channel. So click on that if you want. Otherwise, guys, we're done. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks for hanging out with CJ in my backyard. Cheers, y'all.